The McKinnon Prize is a non-partisan award for outstanding political leadership won by such big names as Foreign Minister Penny Wong and former Speaker Tony Smith. As the nominations for this year's prize open, one of the great challenges in nominating a politician for a non-partisan award is just that, getting a diverse group of judges to agree on one winner they may not always agree with can be tricky, but that's the aim of the awards, getting us to identify the qualities we admire and finding consensus on what makes good leadership. For more on this, let's bring in former Victorian Attorney-General and McKinnon Prize Ambassador Jill Hennessy. Thanks so much for your time, Jill. It comes this discussion around the McKinnon Prize, and I guess it's been going for a while, but right now, a lot of cynicism about politics, people not really trusting, loving their political leaders. Why is it important to recognise political leadership even in this context?
Well, thanks for having me, Kieran. And I think it is important for us to highlight what good political leadership looks like and to celebrate that. As you said, we're pretty good at pointing the finger when our politicians don't meet the standards of leadership that we would expect and perhaps aspire to. So part of the purpose of the McKinnon Prize for Political Leadership is to highlight when people do it and do it well, to celebrate that and to acknowledge it. And we hope in due course, send a message to younger political leaders about the sorts of reform and leadership they might be capable of, and to encourage Australians to really think and talk about what good political leadership looks like.
And it's a diverse judging panel. I mentioned that in the introduction. So getting some consensus, not the easiest of things, I would have thought, in quite polarised times.
That's exactly right. And that's what I think is one of the really wonderful things about the prize. The judging panel has former politicians as diverse as former Labor Premier Jay Weatherill, former Liberal Senator and diplomat Arthur Sinodinos, who bring different political views. We've got journalists that come from different networks, Peter Credlin as well as Pat Cavellis. We've got former public servants. Imagine being a fly on the wall in that group of people as they debate what good political leadership looks like. But the fact that they have been able to do that in the past, the fact that they've been able to look at different examples of great political leadership as diverse as Senator Penny Wong and Tony Smith in the past, and actually agree despite their own political predilections or media experiences, I think is a cause for great optimism that we can come together, and despite the polarisation that we see so prominently in contemporary politics, that we can come together and agree on what courage, decency, integrity, reaching across the aisle and applying all the other criteria that they've had in the past.
And Jill Hennessy, we spoke a bit earlier about that that cynicism that's there within the Australian electorate towards politics, but this McKinnon Prize, its aim is unapologetically a positive one, isn't it?
That's exactly right. And to not just have a culture where we constantly point out what we don't like in our political leaders, but we actively celebrate when leaders get it right, when they do deliver reform and have an impact above and beyond the standard ideological political calculus, when they do demonstrate that they can collaborate with people from across the political aisle, when they are able to reach out and listen to communities and to try and change some of the really presumed political outcomes of our experiences. And the fact that we're able to get such a diverse group of people together to agree on what best in show might look like, I think sends a really positive message that politics is not just about polarisation and a bit of kabuki theatre in the parliament. It is actually about people who have devoted, in many cases, decades of their life to try and deliver a more prosperous future for Australia and to deliver better outcomes. And I think that's something worth celebrating.
Former Victoria Attorney-General, McKinnon Prize Ambassador Jill Hennessy, thanks for your time.